Hello everyone, Chess Hoodie here. Welcome to the new game. So we have game 15, a very strong opponent, 24-66. He was white, I was black. Let's quickly check what happened. D4, D6, Bishop F4, uh, London setup, Knight F6, E3, Knight BD7, and now my opponent allowed me to go E5. It's a matter of taste. He could have stopped it with Knight F3. E5, bishop h2, g6. So I can develop this bishop here too, but I wanted to put him on more active post. C3. So correctly, my opponent blunts the diagonal in advance. Let's see, bishop g7, knight f3, queen e7, and the position is roughly level. Of course, white is always slightly better. Bishop e2, castles, and here comes the first moment where I had to really think, because the question is how to develop this bishop. It's not easy to develop it along this diagonal and doesn't have any good squares. So I decided to fianchetto it, but this has a price, because the light squares then get weakened, and I give my opponent a hook for some active play. A4 immediately. You see, my opponent is not weak, he understands. Now I have a choice. I should not let this, so I can either block it like that, or put my pawns on the light squares. So if I block, then I give this square. Might be used by his pieces, but it's okay, but it's touchy. And I decided to do the other thing. I played a6, so when he plays a5, I go b5. But now I give him another hook, and of course he can attack it like this and open up lines on the queen side. But he didn't do it, and that was his actually mistake. This was the moment, and I was expecting this move. And then if I take, there is pressure on a6 constantly. Then along the c file, there might be some attack here. Black is maybe fine, but I need to play precisely. Also, if I try to block by pushing, he can do this, and so that's why I wouldn't push. Um, I was calculating this, and this is a typical approach. It's complicated, but the idea is to undermine these strong pawns, and then perhaps white will have slightly upper hand. Okay, so knight bd2 was played, and I immediately understood that I need to block this advance, so I played c5, and now if he ever pushes, I will just pass through, because the c5 square is blocked and this is not possible. Knight b3, bishop b7, finally developing on that diagonal, c4, and as I told you, b4, and there is no c5, and that's the key. That's the key. So he cannot undermine my central pawns anymore, and during the game I thought, okay, now I'm for sure not worse. I didn't understand that I was better, so I just thought I'm just fine here. Okay, let's see. He's also struggling to find a move. So after bishop e4, queen d1, I went back, preventing him from locking my bishop. Maybe that's okay too, but I went back, and I was ready to accept the threefold repetition. I don't know, I didn't see a way forward. And also you can see I'm a little bit shorter on time. My opponent declined, he went knight fd2, and now I played rook e8, preparing e4. Bishop f3, and now to take here would be an inaccuracy, because white lacks space. So if I exchange that bishop, I make his life easier. And also, he's now threatening to enter my position, so I would probably have to push e4, but he exchanged one piece, so his life is easier. So I understood that. So I pushed e4, and after bishop e2, comes my first mistake. So I should have continued slowly because white has no active plans. Whether he pushes or exchanges, the situation in the center will not change in his favor. It will just he can open the d file or close it, but he cannot use it. Only black might use it. But what I did, I took on d4, which was a mistake. Computer says not a mistake, just like inaccuracy, but that's a mistake. In my opinion, this is a big mistake. Because of course I thought if he takes, the party starts and life is happy. Life is fun again. It's complicated, but this kind of opening of the position is in black's favor with these beautiful bishops, and white's bishop is kind of, I don't know, looking at thin air. But of course my opponent took with the knight, and now I did get the c5 and e5 squares, but it's not easy to use them. And the position is still balanced, but I lost my advantage. So I went to c5, knight c2, he wants to capture this pawn. Another dubious move, so I attacked here. What I should have done is opened up the center as quickly as possible and used the position of his queen. It's a little bit unpleasant. But okay, I went back, he defended the pawn, and as you can see, I have 2 minutes and he has more than 5 minutes. And I was thinking here what to do. I'm losing a pawn, that's a given, but I have some compensation, I was sure, but there are so many options. I wasn't sure which one to go for, and while I was thinking, for some reason, my opponent offered the draw. And I gladly accepted it because I was low on time, and even though I trusted in my position, I just didn't feel confident enough to calculate everything today. So a little bit, how to say, out of form performance, but the result was good. Not because we were smart, but because our opponent, for some reason, offered the draw. We don't know the reason. Was it that he assessed the position as equal? Was he busy and had to run away? Or did he feel like a generous person today and just thought that he's giving us a gift? Anyways, thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye!